go live.
All right.
Hey guys, how's everybody going today? How was everybody's Sunday?
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Drinks. I do have rum in here.
Rum.
Right.
Coke Zero and rum.
I got a chocolate beer tonight. Look at that.
Wow.
Well, if we're showing our beer, I am sporting the local brew from High Cotton Brewery here in Memphis, Tennessee.
That looks tasty.
Scottish ale. Yes, indeed.
That looks very, very tasty.
Wow.
Right.
HDR has a ton of different brews that he always talks about on
Exactly.
his channel. So you know what I did today? I did
What's that?
I did adulting stuff all day. I'd rather been in the garage, wiping off pollen off the bike, but I had to paint. So I painted the kitchen all day long.
Oh,
and I'm an
wow.
idiot because I didn't wear I forgot to wear gloves. So I'm spending a half hour scrubbing my freaking hands, and it's black paint. So we're painting our island. And now I all my fingernails have black paint under it. So
Wow.
I got the goth look now.
Oh, wow.
Did you guys do anything fun?
Yeah, not a whole lot going on around here today, basically. Slept in late, and it's been raining all day, so put some bird seed out for the birds, and that's about as good as it got today.
Big day.
Yeah.
Big day for Memphis Mike.
Yeah. The pollen around here is on the way out, so fortunately I don't have to wipe the cars and bikes down every day now. So, so other than that, been a good day. So,
Bob, did you do anything good?
I cleaned out the inside of my truck, and I sat in the garage and stared at my bikes for an hour, which I know is a little weird, but
It's not weird.
it's, I thought about backing them onto the driveway and just doing a vlog from there, but figured that'd be pretty stupid. But I'm close. I'm close to, since we're in jail here in Michigan with our ability to ride our motorcycles, I'm getting ready to not care soon. So, and go anyway. Like Jack, like HDR.
heck yeah. Oh, I see my buddy Dano was on here.
Yeah.
You've seen him on my beds. Hey, Dano, what's up, buddy? That's right.
Yeah, I was actually able to get out today. I did a 65-mile motorcycle ride.
Oh,
So I had a great time. Weather is really good. I did start out with the heated gear. Mrs. HDR said, "You taking heated gear?" I said, "No." And then I was like, "Yeah, I better do that." Thank goodness I did. But
wow.
but I wanted to get out there. I wanted to film a video or two for the YouTube folks out there for something to watch. To get us through the Wednesdays and Sundays.
We need you, HDR.
Yeah, there was a lot of bikes out today around here. Tons of bikes.
Looks like we got a couple people in the chat here joining us, guys. So we'll get this started. Hello, people of YouTube. Welcome to our third. This is our third, right? Our third stream, and it's 4 midlife crisis guys that have nothing better to do than spend an hour with you guys on Sunday. So we appreciate you joining us. My name's Colin. I go by Broncoride. I'm going to go around and let these guys introduce themselves. We'll start off with HDR right below me.
My name is Bob. I go by BoDean 52. No, that's not true. So my name is actually Jack. Go by HDR because it's only 3 letters and not 4, so that's important. But the channel is Harley-Day Rider. So welcome everybody. We appreciate you joining us. And we'll kick it to Mr. BoDean.
Hi. Yeah, there's some new folks in. Dan, Will 2 Power, Chuck, a lot of folks that I don't know. So welcome. I'm BoDean 52. I live in the beautiful lockdown state of Michigan. And I have 2 motorcycles. I have a 2018 Ultra Limited named Big Mama, and I have a 2000 Road King by the name of Duke. So welcome all. And speaking of welcome, I need to welcome our guest, Memphis Mike, to the show. We would have applause if we could. And you heard it here first. Memphis Mike has sold his Goldwing, and he's buying something else.
What?
Tell us why, Mike, tell us why you decided to do that.
Well, you guys have sprung a new one on me. I'll tell you
Don't act coy.
That's all my folks are liable to kick my tail at the end of this. Yeah. So you cannot believe everything on the internet, people. Not everything. So.
It didn't happen.
I remain silent.
Yeah. Fake news.
I'm glad to be here, though. So
I did have some spotters that seen him at the BMW dealer. I don't know why he was there.
Oh, mercy. That is
Mike,
cool. That is
Mike.
cool
Seriously though, thanks for taking an hour out of your day to join us.
Yeah, nothing else going on. I'm glad to be a part of it, man.
You're enjoying life. You got your cigar. You got a drink in your hand. Can't go wrong with that.
Life is good.
Looks like you're on your patio.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I am. So hope ramped up the Wi-Fi. So hopefully I won't freeze up and everything. So put in Google Wi-Fi yesterday.
Life is good.
Yeah, man. Heck yeah. So
hey, Broncoride, does Memphis Mike and HDR look cooler than you and I because they have mics?
Yeah, look at their microphones.
Folks, do they look cooler than us?
Right in their face, and then we have these.
Yeah, sweet.
They call me Howard Stern.
Oh man, yeah.
Yes.
These mics got the total cool factor going on.
So guys, here's our format. We really don't have a format, let's put it that way. So this is our third one, and normally what we do is we kick off a couple questions that the four of us are going to answer, and then what we'd like you to do is put some questions in the chat so the four of us can answer. It's very interactive. That's how we want it to be. And so the first question I'm going to ask these guys, and all four of you, is if your primary bike or your bike brand didn't exist or they went out of business and there's no foreshadowing there or anything, what would be your primary brand? Jack, we'll start with you.
I really like the people might beat me up for that. I like two, but I think if I had to pick one, just because I rode it and it rode really nice, I think it'd be that Yamaha. I think it's called the Grand Venture or the Grand Touring, whatever it's called. But great bike, and I think the price point is amazing, right? It's a full dresser for like 20,000, so it's a really nice bike. Second bike would be the Honda Goldwing.
Yeah,
you don't have to kiss his ass.
Yeah.
Right. Uh-huh.
Jeez.
Right.
He's a guest. We have to kiss his butt this early. We only just started, right?
That's right.
That's right.
How about you, Bob?
I would get a gold. No, I'm just kidding. You know what? I tell you what. If I no longer rode Harleys, if I was just going for an adventure bike, I would look at a BMW, a 1200 GS probably. Mrs. BoDean wouldn't let me go out riding anymore by myself, so I'd probably look at a Goldwing, quite frankly.
Good choice. Good choice.
How about you, Honda boy?
You know, I would. That's a tough one. One other bike that I have always liked quite a bit is the Yamaha FJR 1300. In fact, I looked at that when I looked at a Goldwing, and when Mama sat on the Goldwing and then sat on the FJR, she said, no, on the Yamaha. I like that bike. I did test ride the Indian Challenger, and that was a cool ride. I'm not going to lie, but I've talked to my buddy Dano knows this. When it goes back to Indian, the one bike, of course, it's a hooligan ride, and you're not going to be touring on it. I guess you could tour on any bike, but I love that. What is it? That 1200
Scout.
No, not the Scout. The bike that the dude did the jump in Vegas on. The FTR 1200, I believe.
Yeah.
The flat track style. I just love that ride for some reason. So that might be a couple of considerations. And of course, I rode that BMW Bagger, and that's the cat's meow, man. That thing leaves everything in its dust. I mean,
I saw that at a show. It looked a sweet looking ride.
Woo, man. I mean, that was but heck, there's something about all of them. I like something about all of them. I mean, so that'd be kind of maybe what I would lean toward.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, yes, I ride a Harley. I mean, I've always liked baggers. So, I mean, if Harley didn't exist and let's say Indian did, I'd probably go with Indian. I just like the look of the Harley. Here's the thing. I actually I've never rode a Goldwing, but I've sat on one, especially I've always wanted to take the DCT out. And I've been around a couple people I've rode with, but I never actually took it out. I've seen in the last couple of years. And I've always been a fan of that bike. I like the look of the Harley better. But I mean, the technology wise from Goldwing is, in my opinion, is superior. They have a lot of different things that Harley doesn't. But I honestly, I've always had this take. He was on. I don't know if he's on. I haven't looked in the side chat quite yet to see if he's on. But a couple weeks ago, we had a gentleman by the name of Happy Jack, and you guys have probably seen this. I rode with him in 2018. Up by New England, and he had this video out like 2 months before, and you guys know what I'm talking about. He made this video. A Harley guy rides a Goldwing. This thing now, I think at the time when we did like a dual vlog together, it had like 300,000 views on it, and now I think it's close to 1 million views. Woo. Yeah, I think it's up there. It's either 900,000 or 1 million views. He wasn't monetized. He was always bitching about that when he first made it. So the YouTube algorithm gods looked in his favor for that video. But the whole point of that is just him getting on and enjoying a bike. You know, and when we were talking off camera, and he was just telling me how much of a fun ride that bike was and how much he enjoyed it. And ever since, I've always been wanting to get on. So, I mean, I could go to Honda. I'm not against it, but I like the bagger. I like the Indian look. That's kind of how we do it. So go ahead.
Hey, Broncoride, HDR and I was at a show in Ohio, and I know that we both sat on the Goldwing. I think HDR you were on with your bride, right?
Yes.
And the one thing, that's the first time I've sat on the bike. It definitely feels more balanced to me. And I'm a Harley guy, but at the end of the day, I don't care what you ride, right? It's all about the brother and sisterhood. But it seemed lighter and more balanced to me, at least from sitting, Jack. I don't know how you felt.
You know what? I felt the same way, but then Mrs. HDR got in the back, and she didn't really like the seat. She felt that it was kind of hard, but she did she seen the little button on there. She said, "What's that?" And BoDean goes, "That's the heat." And she goes, "It has a heated seat." She fell in love with that.
Well, man,
because I don't keep her warm enough. So hey, we have to have a heated seat on the bike.
Hey, when you guys got off, I looked at her and said, "So go, no go?" She goes, "No." So no, there's not going to be a Goldwing in HCRs.
Yeah.
Right, I think.
I do love my heat. Woo, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
nice.
Man. Oh, man.
Nice.
And then
All right,
couple it with heated gear. Woo, man.
You guys ready for the next one?
Fire.
Yeah.
All right. This isn't necessarily, so I want to make sure I'm not asking, why did you get into YouTube? This is kind of like a part 2 of that question. This is more, why do you do this? Why do you put the time into filming, editing, posting on social media, taking the time to get out, setting up all your equipment, like kind of what drives you as a creator? What keeps you going? Who wants to start? I'll start with you, HDR.
All right. So I started before I got back into riding. You'll see a video coming up pretty soon of how I got back into riding motorcycles, and I talk about all those. But I started like everybody else. I started going to YouTube, seeing what kind of motorcycle videos, and I found this thing called a motovlog, and I'm like, I don't understand what that is. But I found Sean Smoke and a guy by the name of Triple X Deadhead. I started watching. I thought, I could probably do that. I don't think I'd be very good at it. And I'm still, you still question that, right? But I put a camera and I started talking, and I thought, well, Miss A. will tell you I'm one of the best BSers around. I can talk, and everybody watches the videos. Matter of fact, I had a really close friend said your videos would be great, but you talk too much. So I don't know how to remedy that. But then I actually started looking at them though as training videos for myself. When you come home, I get to ride and look and be like, that's pretty cool. But I think what people lose when they say I want to be a motovlogger, I want to put YouTube videos out, it is a lot of work. Because you have your filming, right? Your videos when you're out, you come back, you have all your editing. You got to put a few hours into that. And then afterwards, and myself and Bob has talked to us on numerous times, is, if you start cracking up the comments, And sometimes people get into that where they click, I loved it, I loved it, I loved it. I answer every single comment with actual thought based on what they're talking about. So it does take a lot of time. So you're going to get involved with that. But I do it just because I love the community. I love what we built. I would never met you, any of you guys, if I didn't do it. So,
yeah, I think for me, I don't know. I just enjoy the just sharing the whole experience, with what's going on in the riding community. And, just like HDR said, I mean, I've met so many great people just through YouTube. So I think I enjoy a lot of the socialization of it as well. I mean, obviously us being monetized, none of us are in the 100,000 subscriber base. So, what money we make is basically, lunch money. And,
McDonald's.
yeah, exactly. I mean, so
the dollar menu.
I enjoy, just the whole socialization factor of it. And, I've enjoyed also working with even then some of the, retailers and stuff, people like Electrical Connection and Wing Stuff, and different places sometimes that, that once you get going, they recognize your channel and they want to send you products for review. I enjoy doing those. And, but like I say, it's just like HDR said, it's a lot of time. And, mentioning my buddy Dano again, who's actually been in some of my videos. We've done videos together, riding together. Then we come back and I edit, and he's like, "Man, I didn't realize how long that stuff took." And I'm like, yeah, he just helped me with a how-to install video. I mean, he's so fast, when he does stuff, it, barely took him 10 minutes, but then I spent, another 2.5 trying to put it together, but I enjoy stuff like that through, and it helps people out. And, I just enjoy the camaraderie of, meeting other bikers and so forth.
Yeah, I would say Broncoride, same reason that Mike and Jack have. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the people that you meet. I mean, we're just getting to know Mike better, but I would say that, both of us are, and HDR, the three of us are pretty good friends, right? Outside of what we're doing here. So I think that's it. But I guess to go back to your question on why I keep doing it, is I think as people comment and you get to know people and you make new friends, that's helpful. But I always like trying to make it a little bit better too, right? I mean, there's something about editing, and I'm with you, Memphis Mike. It's 2 to 3 hours probably to edit and get it close to what we think.
Right.
But for some sick reason, I like doing that stuff. I just went to a iMac, so I have to use a different editing software to do my videos, and it about freaked me out when I first pulled it up, going, "Oh crap!" Right? But you learn it quick, and it's the challenge of doing it. It's but it's sharing our lives in the world with what's going on, and showing people some great roads and meeting good friends. So that's why I keep doing it, Colin.
I mean, very similar to the three of you guys. I mean, it's funny. Like at work, I'm an extrovert, and then I get home and I'm just the opposite. Like I'm an introverted. I like kind of chilling out, relaxing, sitting down after a long, hard day. But when I get on the bike, though, I become an extrovert again. I like my true personality, and I just like getting on there and just talking and just sharing stuff with people. And sometimes they're stupid stories about nothing, and people can relate to them. And it's like it's weird how like there's so many people out there that have similar characteristics as you do that you can relate to. And and it's not just you make a ton of friends. I mean, like you guys said, a year and a half ago, I didn't know the three of you guys, and now look at us. Now we're sitting around chatting all the time, not even on live streams, but we're just texting each other, chatting, all because we got on two wheels and because we have a YouTube channel. And I enjoy doing it. I love sharing stuff. I love just getting out there and having fun. Here's my take, and you might have heard this before. If YouTube becomes a job, then you're in it for the wrong reason. If YouTube is something that is fun for you. And, you know, like Bob, we're very odd this way. I enjoy editing. Some people don't. It's very therapeutic for me to sit down and click buttons and cut and slice up stuff just to, I don't know, Bob, like you said, I enjoy doing it. It's fun. I mean, you do spend some time on it. I mean, we're spending, you know, and depending on the video, you could spend anywhere from, you know, 3 to 5 to 6 hours, but it's still a hobby for me. It's still a way to get in there and just and have fun and meet people. And I'm blessed because of all the people that I've met through YouTube over the years and done group rides, and I hope to continue it. So that's my answer. So last couple weeks, I've been regulated to Question Boy. And now Bob.
That's what we called you, by the way.
That's what you called me, Question Boy. So
Yeah,
Bob's gone through, and now I think he's been writing down a couple questions here. So now I'm going to let him take over.
Hey, crap! If I knew there was going to be so many questions, I wouldn't have volunteered to do this. By the way, so
yeah, it's hard. You're like writing it down.
Yeah,
okay.
I see my buddy Craig Hainsworth is already asked a couple about motovlog. He's also a motovlogger.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
And Mike, that's a good point. I think that, you know, for all the folks, and we talked about getting to know each other, you know, for those folks that are in chat, a lot of us have channels. You know, go check out some channels. There's a lot of new folks that are good. There's some folks on that have been here a long time, and you know, take the time to go look. And you know, we never tell people to go subscribe to somebody. Go check out their channel if you like it. Subscribe. Right. I think that's good. So. I already have 11 questions, Colin, so we're gonna have to pump through them, I think. Right?
Good.
Yep.
All right. The first one is, you mentioned midlife crisis. When does that stop? And I would just like to start by hopefully never.
Yeah. Never. Yeah.
Never?
Yeah. No. I don't think it's a midlife crisis. I mean, you know, I don't know. You know, it's just, for me, it's riding is just a way of life.
Yeah. I hear you.
I meant the midlife crisis. We're trying to do StreamYard.
Yeah. Exactly.
Not right.
I don't think it's a midlife crisis either. I think I got to the point where our kids were raised and they all left the house, got their professional jobs, and I was like, "Whoa, we got a little bit of money left over. I can go buy like a cheaper Harley and just start riding."
Mm-hmm.
So, or a cheaper motorcycle, right? Buy whatever. And and the missus was like, "Wow, that sounds like fun for you. What am I going to do?" I said, "Well, get a helmet and get on the back, and you're going to love it too." So
yeah, amen to that.
Yeah. So now that's great.
All right, Colin, I got another one. I love this one. Do you feel compelled to motovlog every time you ride?
Ooh,
that's a good question.
That is a good question.
Let's start with you then.
No, absolutely not. I actually, funny, I probably motovlog maybe 10 to 15% of the time I ride, especially when I'm riding a lot during the summer. I don't just put on a helmet to go motovlog. It's kind of pointless. So you go out and ride, and you know, if I'm feeling I'm going to record something, I'll bring my setup. But no, definitely not. That's definitely not.
Yeah, I don't. That's a good question from Craig. I don't. To be honest, you know, 80-90% of the time I wear my Bell Custom 500 3/4 helmet. And I like to smoke these sticks while I ride. So I'm not going to be in a position to motovlog. And most of the time if I do, you know, then, you know, I'm going to make a set plan, fire the bike up one day. So, okay, I'm going out to cut a video. So, you know, I'll just pick a day or two. And finally, once I have a topic come to me, then I just go out and cut it, you know. So.
Yeah. How about you, HDR?
Early on, I think I did. When I first started YouTube, I felt that I owed YouTube a certain debt. So when I got out, I thought I had to cut 2 videos every time I rode the motorcycle. But now I get to that point where I'll leave the camera at home. Then that way you don't even feel like you're going to record a video. You can't and go out, you know, for 50, 100-mile ride just to get a ride in.
Yeah. You know what? I would say I'm probably a little bit different than you guys, and it's something I'm trying to work on. Is I don't want to say I feel obligated, but I would say probably 80 or 90% of the time when I ride, cut a motovlog. I just do. I think Craig had mentioned, and one of the things I'm trying to work on is have the camera with me in case something comes up. But if I do that, then I'm going to turn it on and talk, right? There's just because we can't shut up. So that's something I'm working on to not do that because I don't want to take away from why we got a bike, right? And it wasn't the motovlog.
That's
Right.
what Mrs. HDR says. We ride with BoDean. She's like, this guy don't shut up. So he's right. That's a good point.
I know your beautiful wife would never say something like that, HDR.
No,
So
she said we both don't shut up. Our wives can't get a word in edgewise. Like one time we're riding and we're like 60 miles in. They both had to pee so bad that it was like running off the back of the bike because we never let them break in.
I'm gonna add. I'm gonna add something else. So with or ask you guys something else. I know it wasn't asked, but specifically, like when you guys are doing a moto vlog, do you feel you're spontaneous, or do you feel like you guys have to plan it out?
Go ahead. No, yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, for me, it's pretty spontaneous. I mean, which is good and bad at times, you know, unless there's a specific, you know, thing that comes to mind, just like my last video about bike night being canceled due to the circumstances in the world right now. You know, I thought, because a lot of people actually plan to come to Memphis for bike night, which is absolutely the best, probably bike night in the country every Wednesday night. So I thought about that, but then other times, if I do have the gear on but no topic, then I'll slap it on, and hopefully whatever spontaneous comes to being is of interest to somebody.
I think I'm spontaneous, but at the same time, like I'll pick a topic and I'll plan something. I'll say, this is what I'm going to talk about, but then I'll just go with it and just go off in different tangents and just talk about stuff, you know, unless it's like something I have to research. And then like I want to dig a little, and then I'll have that, you know, to talk about. But normally I just pick a topic and then just run with it.
I would say I normally have one or maybe two topics at least in mind, like you, Colin. But mostly it's spontaneous. I'll see something on the road or something will hit me while I'm talking, and it's just makes me kind of go off on a tangent sometimes, right? A lot of my videos I'll start and I'll like focus, BoDean, focus, right? Because I know I'll see a barn with cows laying down, and next thing I know, I'm vlogging 15 minutes about, is it supposed to rain when cows lay down? Right? Yeah. I mean, it's just, you know, maybe we're lunatics. Maybe that's what it is. So you do the same thing, HDR?
Yeah, I've often told a lot of people, and I see one question, it's like, you know, how do you get into making these videos? How do you come up with topics? And you guys know, I've told you guys many times, is I don't sit at home and go, oh crap, y'all want to talk about Hershey chocolate bars? I better get out there on the motorcycle and start talking about this topic. I'm the same way. I'm riding and I'm like very much like Bob. I look over and see like a duck in a pond, or I see a paddle boat in a little pond through a park. And the next thing you know, me and Bob's vlogging about paddle boating together.
You had to bring up the paddle boats.
Yeah.
Let the paddle boat thing go away, please.
No, but it's very spontaneous. You know, if you guys sit at home and you got your list and you go out there on the bike, like today we're going to talk about the price of eggs in China, and it's not authentic. Nobody's going to watch it. That people don't want to see that. They want you to be very authentic and just blow it out there.
Yep.
My wife watches my videos. She goes, you know, this is the word you wanted. You said that word. I said, but that's authentic. I just say whatever comes to my mind.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's empty, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of times it's empty, actually.
Yeah, actually. Yeah, you're right. Thanks.
Sorry, question boy. I went off on a tangent. You're up.
Yeah. Hey, dude, this wasn't, you're not supposed to go off on this. And we got so many questions. I really want to make sure we try to get through as many as possible. So, you know, somebody asked, you ride either usually alone or with your wife. Do you sometimes ride or vlog with others? And, you know, I think it's a challenge at times because we're in different locations. I know Memphis Mike, we were kind of talking about, you have some fellow motovloggers close to you. When I was in PA, HDR and I and our wives used to ride together. But so I guess it depends on where you're at, right?
Yeah, about the only person every once in a while I would do a dual vlog with would be my buddy Dano. You know, depending if we want to. As I was telling Colin earlier, I'm really no longer utilizing my Sena wireless, where, you know, therefore I could pair up to another rider and talk. So that kind of puts a damper on doing a dual vlog, I guess, you know. So
maybe you can just talk to yourself.
Pretty much so. Pretty much so. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Used to do a lot with BoDean when he was in. You'll see a lot of those videos. But one day we were out with our wives, and I ran a stop sign. He called me a week later and said, "We're moving to Michigan." So that's kind of how that all fell into place.
Yeah.
So,
Dude, if
we don't ride together
I can't ride with you.
Yeah, we don't ride together anymore. He said I'm very unsafe. So, and then he pulls out in front of a car. So I mean, it's give and take.
Hey, the guy was speeding. Come on, I understand.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question, HDR. When that guy almost ran into the back end of me, if I was in an accident, when you have vlogged about it and showed the video, I just want to know.
Yeah, as long as you weren't injured too bad. Like I probably would have looked at the bike being crashed up and been like, this is what happens when you pull out in front of a car doing like Mach 10. And that guy was speeding. He's blowing his horn. Yeah, he was speeding.
How about you, Colin? You ride with others and vlog with others down in
I'm usually a solo rider. My wife is starting to get into riding more with me. Out here by me, I don't have anybody really close to me. I've had a couple people I've reached out that are in like the Virginia area. They're about 30, 45 minutes away. But I have done many dual vlogs before. They're enjoyable. When we go on trips, especially like these yearly trips we go to, that's the best part is like, and the thing about like when you're on comms, it's amazing. Like time just flies. Like you'll sit there and just talk and talk and talk. It's amazing how like, and I think somebody brought this up. Maybe it was you, Jack, on a previous stream about that you could sit and talk for like, 2 hours with somebody and basically nonstop. And you've got all this stuff to talk about while riding. And that's what's great about doing the dual vlogs and having the comms.
Hey, Colin, is your wife on? Because we have a question from Blue Bike Girl that says, I have a question for Colin. How did you get to be so handsome and sexy? Dude, come on. We're all going to Blue Bike and Girl's channel because
wait. I got to find this.
Broncoride.
Where was this?
Is he paying? You can't pay people for questions.
Not right.
I could feel my face turning red.
Dude,
what was your name? Blue
Bike Girl.
Yeah, let's take a number. Take a number.
Well, Blue Bike Girl.
Yeah.
Great name because I have a blue bike.
That's your wife, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not. No.
All right. Hey, we're moving on because that can't be right. So a couple questions specific. One, this is a Pirates hat, not a Purdue hat. Come on, I'm a Michigan boy. Go blue. OD, you need some sun. Yeah, no kidding. I'm in Michigan. I can't ride. Yes, I have won the squirrel war. If you haven't checked out that video, feel free to. But I've been at war with squirrels in my backyard, and I ended up kicking their ass just to be specific. HDR, potential Honda Day Rider in your future? And are you thinking about a second bike?
Honda Day Rider.
Honda Day Rider.
Yeah.
Not as long as I want to stay married to my wife. We're not. And I love the Goldwing. I do. I think it's a wonderful bike. I'm going to test ride one this year just to say I did it. But yeah, we're not going to have one. A second bike. She told me I can't have a second bike, but then I have to move my bed to the garage. So that's probably not going to happen either.
Yeah, you're not going to get better than her. You better not do that.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
So Magic City Biker wants to know if I'm a true swinger. Come on, dude. This is a rated channel. So back on pros and cons, Goldwing versus Harley. I know we talked a little bit about that. And I know, I think all of us have not had both bikes or rode both bikes. So maybe that's a hard question. I don't know, Memphis Mike, if you want to try that one.
Oh man, that I'll tell you, just in comparison of the bikes. I mean, I've only test ridden a couple of Harleys before, and again, I like pretty much all bikes. I mean, something about all of them. But I guess for me, the thing that some reason once I took the Goldwing, the smoothness. Pretty much what sold me on it. And, I even had a V-twin Shadow. Once I got the Goldwing, with that flat 6. And of course I have a CB 1100, as well. I got rid of the Shadow just because I was tired of the V-twin style motor and everything. So, man, I don't know, pros or cons. I wouldn't know deep enough of, each one to to really do a proper assessment. But
Plus, they don't sell Harleys in Memphis, do they?
oh man, we're loaded up with Bumpus. Oh my gosh, yeah. Bumpus HD is all over the place, man.
Now, if you can have Elvis's Harley that's in his Graceland, would you take that over your wing?
I might. And I saw Jerry Lee Lewis's Harley in his den when I was at his house one time.
Oh,
I thought, cool. Wow, who puts a motorcycle in their den?
I would do it.
Yeah, yeah.
I would do it. So, whose house were you at? Just to clarify,
Jerry Lee Lewis's house. I was doing a photo thing with Axis TV, Dan Rather.
Oh, very cool.
And I was doing the behind the scenes photography.
Cool.
Down there. He lives about, it's probably about an hour from me, hour and 20 minutes down in Mississippi. So,
very cool. Very cool.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Mike, while we're talking to you, what's on the grill this weekend, brother?
Man, just yesterday I smoked 3 chickens. I did some beef ribs as well. And my beef ribs, didn't let them cook as long. It was kind of a first for me, and they were a little tough, but I can correct them, reheating them. So
yeah,
been doing a lot of grilling out right now these days. Nobody's eating out, so that grill's going 3-4 days a week.
I tried to smoke a chicken, but he wouldn't stay in the rolling paper. He kept running away.
That's right.
Hey, HDR, remember, don't start drinking before the live.
You told me start at noon.
Yeah. That's right.
What a great! It's funny, every time I see Memphis Mike out cooking, I'm just like, I wish I was that dude's neighbor.
I know, right? And my neighbor cooks just as well too, man. He knows how to cook too, man. So yeah.
What's everyone's drink of choice tonight, Colin? Obviously you're drinking some sort of
excuse me. No, I am. It's actually rum and Coke Zero, what's left of it. So I gotta get a new one.
Wow.
I'm drinking Scottish ale from High Cotton Brewing here in Memphis, Tennessee, locally brewed.
Nice.
So yeah, it's pretty good stuff.
This one is chocolate stout, so it's very good.
Wow. Well, I'm I've gotten crap for being a Coors Light drinker, so tonight is Captain.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I'm captaining.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
I'm actually drinking out of a glass. If you can see that, from the Ohio Club in Hot Springs, Arkansas, where Mr. Al Capone used to hang out. So makes the beer taste even better.
With Al Capone and this whole Jerry Lee Lewis thing, man, I gotta hang and the cooking. I gotta hang out with you more.
Man, I'm telling you, man. I've been around the block a few times, man. That's right.
So Colin, a good question. I guess this is for folks to answer: is do you think people tune in for your content or just to hang out with you
on this on the normal channel?
Yeah, on your channel. You think people tune in other than your dashing, sexy looks? Apparently, according to your wife,
that was not so you know.
Is there? You think people tune in to see?
I'm still trying to look up Blue Bike Girl on YouTube. With me, I just try to keep it real. So hopefully that people that tune in that you can relate to me, and just a guy who likes to ride and get on a bike and tell stories. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily, like my content varies. I mean, I'll pick a topic and just go with it. And sometimes it's, strange. And sometimes it's, sometimes I'll do like installs, LED installs specifically. And I love doing those. But like I have strange topics sometimes. I'll just go on a tangent and, find stuff that might look interesting to other people. That's how I look. If it's interesting to me, maybe somebody else would find it interesting. So I hope people tune in for kind of both.
Hey, you do some amazing videos on custom dynamics. I had a question for you. Is it possible that there could be an electrical fire on your motorcycle?
Dude, there's no more room. There's no more physical room in that battery. I mean, there's like so many. I got to take a picture and send it to you. I mean,
I will tell you what, if you're looking for lights or anything like that custom dynamics or anybody does, your channel's great at that. You're a master at putting those videos together. I wish I had that talent. So,
well, thank you.
Yeah. HDR, how about you? You think people tune in to see you or the amazing Pennsylvania roads?
I think there's a cross between that, but I always say people tune into my channel because all the other channels are sold out on YouTube. It's like when you go to the movies and everything's sold out, so they default back to me and watch my stuff. But yeah, I get a lot of that. I get a lot of comments back on you have some great roads. So today, I mean, I went way out in the sticks. I was out in the country so far, the GPS said turn around. So, but it was a great time, to film those kind of roads. That's what people want to see. So it's a lot of fun. So, and I wanted to give a shout out real quick to Magic City Biker. He keeps saying hi, HDR. So hello back.
Yes. Yeah. How about you, Mike? You think, Mike, I will tell you, for me, when I first started watching you, I don't know, a year or so ago, whatever it was kind of that down to earth type guy in the driveway talking about motorcycles and stuff we like. You think that's why people watch you?
Yeah, I think it might be a mix. I call out one motovlogger here who's just recently started a channel in the last year, Rich up in New Hampshire. His channel is Have Moto Will Travel, and he has told me time and time and again, he said, man, people tune in because they like you, and I'm really flattered by that. I mean, I don't know that my content is certainly magical. I mean, I do a lot of videos where some of the videos I like to really do are the ones or specific roads, showing roads. And what's strange about those is they really don't oftentimes get a ton of views. I mean, I may do some roads in North Carolina, talking about, utilizing America Rides maps and where you can find this road, giving them the road, showing it and all that. And, but I don't know. So I think it's maybe just a slight mix, I guess. I mean, a lot of people tell me they're kind of like, you know what? I don't care what you put out. If I get to hang out 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes with Memphis Mike, it's all good. So,
I mean, the people I watch, honestly, HDR, you said it a minute ago, just be yourself, just be real, just don't put on a show. I mean, it's like what you see with me is what you get. And I know it's the same with all you guys. You just enjoying riding on a bike and sharing stories. And to me, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Well, and obvious too, because I mean, I'm a Honda rider. You guys are all Harley riders. So, I'm not really watching because, I'm so really interested in Harleys. I just like you guys, and just see, hey, what's going on? What's going on today with HDR or Bronco or BoDean,
Yeah, you know what, I would agree with that. You hope people do it because you're kind of sharing what's going on. And I remember when HDR, and I said this last week, first time we all rode together, I had 9 subs, right? And that was never in the intent. And one thing he said is you just got to be yourself, have fun.
Right.
And if you ever stop doing that and you do it for any other reason, then people see through that, right? So
I think I'm going to do my next video in my hot tub just to see if I get the same amount of viewers.
I'm thinking not, buddy. But hey, can you give us a heads up when you're going to post that one, just so I can make sure that
somebody probably needs.
It'll be Mrs. and Mrs. HDR in the hot tub.
Well, somebody needs to cut him off from the drink.
Yeah. HDR, if you're downstairs watching, can you please come up and pull your husband off here?
That's right.
So, Colin, the next question, and I'll start if you don't mind. Do you have a video you regretted? And I talked about this when I moved to Michigan. I did a video on Hell, Michigan, and I live about 15 minutes from actually a place called Hell, Michigan. And when I did the video, it was all BoDean comedy, whether you like it or not, right? I'm going to hell on the bike. I mean, I just went all over. So I loaded that up, and I thought it was some of my funniest stuff, right? And I will tell you, within an hour, I had so many people sending me messages that said that they were offended. I saw sub counts going down, and I immediately took it off because at the end of the day, I didn't want to offend people. As a matter of fact, Broncoride and I talked about it that day. He's like, dude, you shouldn't have pulled it down. Yeah. So I didn't. I pulled it down, and it took me about 3 months. And it bothered the crap out of me. So I did another video on going to Hell, Michigan, right? Because to the point earlier, you just want to kind of be yourself. I probably said it a little bit better, so it wasn't as offensive. But I at first I regretted that one, and then I kind of changed my mind, if that makes sense. So
I don't know why people. I mean, I saw the original. I didn't think it was that offensive.
yeah,
It you know, hurt me a little, but not too much. You know.
yeah, that's right. You'll get over it in time, man.
No, it was fun. I mean, you're gonna have. You know, I did a video once. I don't know if I regret it, but more the knowledge base, I guess. You know, I've said this. I'm not a mechanic. I mean, I know your basic stuff, so I'm not going to try to go out and say I can rebuild an engine. But I did a video about this seminar I went to at my local Harley dealer. It's about stage upgrades. And I remember writing all this stuff down and trying to retain it. And then, you know, and it was very informative. And I did a whole video about it. And it seems like there were like 5 or 6 people that tried to pick it apart. And I'm like, I even said that in the video. I said, I'm not a mechanic, so don't bust my chops too bad if I mess up on like 1 or 2 things. So I didn't take it down. You know, it's actually one of my best videos that I've done from a view standpoint. But, you know, I mean, I don't want to come across as somebody that seems like they know what they're doing. That's why I'm real honest and say, hey, this is what I learned. This is what I get out of it. Maybe it can help you.
Yeah. Ozarks, you're right. I should have left that video up, man. I regret that. I'm glad I reposted one, but you're right. How about you, Jack?
Yeah, you know, the ones I don't regret any video, and I did comment in the chat about this is if you're editing your video and you regret looking at it or something's weird, just delete it. But
yeah,
the ones that I get the most rude comments on, and nobody here, obviously, these are all the good folks that give us the positive feedback.
Of course.
You do get those trolls out there. And I do a lot of demo rides. A lot of people know that I travel 2-3 hours to go to demo rides on all different motorcycles. Mm-hmm. And I'll say, oh, this motorcycle weighs in at 730 pounds. It's 925. Oh, this video has this engine is a 1600. It's a 1935. So now I'm very clear where I'm giving you HDR's perspective of what this motorcycle feels like. And I don't know a thing about it. And I do that for that reason. So
how about you, Mike? You got any that you regretted?
Yeah, you know what? I was just trying to think back to, I mean, because I started back in January of 2015. I think there's some videos that once I looked at them and at a couple times I may have came across as I don't want to say cocky or arrogant, but I came across as confident of what I am doing and maybe poking at others for the way they ride. And, you know I shouldn't do that, but, but none that I've ever regretted. I thought, well, maybe I should take it down because I'm, quote, maybe offending somebody like you thought. The thing is, we put the content out there. First of all, you do these videos, you have to please yourself, when it comes to creativity. Amen. And do. So, we're not going to please everybody out there. There's people doing radio shows and, of course, newscasters. They're not pleasing everybody. So, I put it out there and I try not to overthink it. And I get reminded of that by a few people or times I've talked. They're like, just quit overthinking it, put it out there. So,
I think that's the first thing you said. Put it out there for yourself first. Like,
yeah,
all mine are they're my training videos. I go back, it's like, why did I make that turn that way? Or
yeah.
But I think that's what I use it for.
Mm-hmm. Jack, do you find I've noticed that, sometimes I'll make a video and I'll put it together and go, man, that's good. One, I had fun, right? So you hope people see that. But do you ever notice that, some videos you think are going to do great, they do crappy. And then ones you're like, should I put that out? You put it out there and people love it. I don't know if you found that at all.
Yeah, I think I found that a few times where I actually have created something and you think it's marginal and you put it out there and it does really, really well with people and gets, and what I mean by well is with YouTube. And I think Memphis Mike pointed this, you're not getting rich on YouTube. What I mean by doing well is I get a lot of comments back, right? Positive comments. That means that video did it spikes somebody's interest because at the end of every video, my wife doesn't watch my stuff, but she watches BoDean. She goes, "Oh, he always asks a nice question at the end." You and I said, every video. So I mean that's part of it. And if you're getting that positive comment back, I think that tells you that video did well.
Your wife
is
awesome, by the way.
Yeah, it's funny. if I can give in an answer on that too. I mean, I've had tons of videos where I thought, man, I put a lot of time in. I talked about my GoPro setup, how intricate it is and detailed, and thought it would really hit, and then it barely gets 1,000 views. But then I go out and I do a video, Goldwinger rides an Indian Challenger, and all of a sudden 50,000 views. And I'm like, wow, okay. I'm like, so I can't predict it, man.
And we don't do it for that. That's not why we do YouTube, right? Otherwise, we would just go do demo rides all day long and post videos, right?
Right. And that's not really what I enjoyed. I mean, I enjoy riding, spending, getting to ride a free bike and somebody else's gas money, but that's not really what I enjoy doing,
The 3 mile loop. That's not
yeah.
To tie onto that, there's a question that says, people see HDR specifically to you that, you do a lot of demo rides and appreciate your honest review. I think, Colin, you do that as well with custom dynamic stuff, right? That
I've done a couple demo ride reviews too.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all done that. And if we ever get to the point where somebody that wants us to look at their product, or we're gonna do some sort of video on something we do to the bike, if we're not giving honest feedback, then right.
What's the point?
What's the point?
Yeah. I just got a product review in my email for a company. I'm going to be doing gloves in a tank bag. And it's funny because I went to Memphis Mike's videos and you did the same gloves.
Yeah, they're sending them out to everybody, man.
Yeah, they just contacted me too. So
Kimmy Moto, I guess what you're talking. Yeah.
But you're right, Bob. That's exactly right. When I do, like, Custom Dynamics has wanted me to review a lot of stuff on the Road Glide Ultra and how it connects. And like sometimes their directions are not exactly right. So I had to write them back. So you need to change this because on the Road Glide, it's one way. I mean, on the Street Glide, it's one way, but on the Road Glide, the plugs are somewhere else. So I gave them positive feedback and positive review. And I think companies appreciate that, so.
All right. So, hey, we got some other folks that came in. See Blacktop Devil's in.
Hey, Blacktop.
He was our guest last week. So if you haven't seen that video, go back and take a peek at it. So some other questions. Motovlog camping. Do you do it, and would you do it?
I'll start with this one because I know your guys' answers.
You know our answer already.
Yeah, I already know your answers. We discussed this privately back and forth. Myself and Mrs. HDR is actually buying a 3-man tent. She's been shopping for it. I got a lot of feedback on one of my videos said Mrs. HDR would never camp. She used to camp a lot. They used to go to car races in her previous life when she was married to this other person. And they tent camped. So we are looking for a tent. And I think right now it's because, just the life-changing events. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
So we are going to try to camp. And we're planning on taking a trip. We talked about this earlier. I think another stream was down to New Orleans. So we're kind of mixing that. We don't know exactly where. I told her this morning we might ride to Yellowstone because I seen this big thing on TV today about Yellowstone National Park. I think that's cool. But we're gonna try to camp the whole way this year. So yes, we are going to try that. So it's not for a cost savings. It's just for something different.
So we've talked about Broncoride, HDR, and myself have talked about getting together here later this summer. And one of the things that HDR said was that we're going to be going into we're going to be doing some camping. And both Bronco and myself and our wives said, hopefully that's close to the hotel that we're going to be staying in. Right.
Yeah. My idea of roughing it is a Motel 6 or Super 8. That's about as so. In the words of Randy from American Idol, it's a no for me, dog. It's a no.
No.
I like my powdered eggs.
But the one thing we always liked about camping, we did it with the kids for years, was we know the beds don't have bed bugs. We know the sinks will be clean. We know the toilet has been sat on by nobody but us. Now that's when we had our camper. We had a 25-foot trailer. People used to say, you rough it? I said, yeah, we don't have an oven. We had everything else.
Here's the thing. I love camping. I grew up camping. So, it's just my problem is I'm an overpacker when I normally ride, and I've got to really work on that.
Yeah,
my wife will kill me because I put way too much stuff when I do these long trips. So I can't even imagine what I have to bring if I have to throw in a sleeping bag, a tent. But eventually, I'd like to try it. But I prefer the Comfort Inn.
So when we can't throw our legs over a 2-wheel motorcycle, will we go to a 3-wheel motorcycle? Is a question.
Absolutely.
The only one of those new ones they're making with the 2 wheels in front that's not a spider. I've seen a Road Glide where they put the 2-wheel package in the front and a Challenger. So yeah, I'd buy one of those.
Yeah, I'd trike it out, or what's that new Yamaha that's got
that thing's crazy looking.
Yeah, I'd do it. I got no shame. I mean,
heck yeah.
Or
we're all
I would have Mrs. ACR drive the trike and I'd sit on the back because then it could be like a girl's bike.
Yeah.
That's not true. That's not true. No, I like trikes.
Yep.
They're way out of my price range, Joe. I don't think we'll ever own one.
I think it's better than not riding at all, to be honest.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I think people on trikes enjoy the road just as much as we do. I mean,
oh yeah.
So
we have looked at spiders and Mrs. HCR said, yeah, no, it's not going to happen.
I think people
like to look.
People on trikes get a bad rap, I think, but it's better than not riding at all. So.
But it's a different ride. Did you guys ever ride a trike before?
I've never ridden one, but I think I don't care, man. If you're still out in the wind and the air, and you got your hair blowing in the breeze, man. Hey,
yeah, my buddy had a trike. He let me ride it like for 20 miles. It's a way different. Like you're trying to the first stoplight, I put my feet down. He was he was on my bike.
That would
you have to physically turn it, so it's way different.
That'd be a good demo ride to go ride a trike or something. I've done a lot of quad ride in mountains and stuff, so I hear it's kind of the same, but I don't know about you, Colin, but I would get a trike if I can't ride on 2 wheels.
No, I did do a Can-Am Spider. I personally did not care for it. I just did not like the way it handled. But
see, I liked it because it downshifts on its own.
Well, I like that aspect. Yeah, it's kind of like the DCT, Goldwing.
Just a different ride.
It's a whole different ride. Yeah, I just didn't care for it. So,
I met some guys a few years ago when we went to Sturgis, and they said, "How long you been riding?" I said, "Well, we rode 400 miles today, man. We're kind of kicked." And he goes, 400? He said, "We've done 1,100 on their spiders." I was like, "That's crazy."
Wow.
In one day.
Yeah, Homebees is talking about their slingshot. As a matter of fact, I saw it on one of their videos, I think, over the last couple of days. They had one in their driveway. Those are cool. Anybody ever seen? I've seen them, but not rode one. Actually, PA Beard and Biker and I were out one day, and we saw one. I forgot what dealership that was in PA, but those look pretty cool. I wonder if they're fun.
They look like they are. I mean, what if I just had unlimited funds, and I think it'd be fun. We see a lot of them at Bill Street Bike Night, and of course they started making them park at different spots because they take up too much room and stick out too far.
Yeah,
I know. Pennsylvania last year just declassified them and classified them as a car. So
yeah,
if you have a car driver's license, you can drive it.
Right.
And it's funny because I still see guys around here driving them with a helmet on. It's like, dude, it's a car.
Yeah. Well, in Memphis, they're classified as a bike, and you're supposed to wear a helmet, but most of the people here in town don't wear a helmet. But I think the police got greater things to worry about than that. So
yeah, we're definitely we're a no helmet state, but I mean,
okay.
So it's hard for me to get my camera kept falling off my ball cap, so you have to wear a helmet.
Yeah.
I still got a couple if we can.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I'll tie the two of them together, which is new channel advice and do you use a Sena or a Cardo? I'm not familiar with that, so I'll let you want to talk about that one, Colin, on new advice.
Well, Sena or Cardo, that's your two main manufacturers of I've never actually tried the Cardo.
Yeah,
I use all Sena products. I've had since I've just different brands. My most recent one I use on my setup is the 10C Pro, and then when I'm not doing that, when I'm connected with like my daughter when she rides in the back of me or my wife, we use the 30Ks and with that mesh network, and they're phenomenal. So, I mean, it's just like any other product. There's the pros and cons. Some people like the Cardo better. They're not as popular as the Sena, but I'm happy with it. I've used them. So, I mean, to answer that question, what was the first one? What new advice for new channel?
New channel.
Rome wasn't built in a day. So don't try to think you're gonna, I think a couple of us have been doing this for years. I mean, it's, to me, like personally, it's never been about sub count. It's not more about how many people that follow the channel. It's more the interaction. It's more the bond you make with people. I mean, I know obviously if you get these super big channels, you might not be able to interact as much as you normally would as a smaller channel. But all I could say is take your time and be real. Don't try to be somebody you're not, and it'll happen organically. It really will. It's just the more people that you meet and the more people you talk to and the more you post videos. I know, Bob, you did I think a whole video on this once, if I'm not mistaken, recently about like ways to, he just hit 1,000 subscribers, about 2-3 months ago, and he did a video on it, how he just started with 9. Yeah. And it's very similar feedback that I'm giving to you now. Just, don't post like once a month. You probably want to post weekly, but be real. I mean, that's the biggest thing I can say, and be yourself, because everybody makes mistakes on videos. We all have. We've all done videos that were like, ugh, it was like the worst ever, and that's okay. Yeah. You learn from it and you get better. And then, that's my advice.
Yeah. If I can just tie into that, I would tell you that I started with like HDR, watching Sean Smokes and HDR, quite frankly, right? So everybody starts somewhere. If you really want to do this, have fun, and if you really want advice, ask one of the 4 of us for it, right? Yeah. And be honest if you want it. If you want us to come back and really say, hey, your 28-minute video really needs to be 13, right? We can help you through that, because pay it forward, right? HDR helped me when I first started, so I owe it to help other people. So
yeah,
and we're still helping BoDean every time.
Yeah. I know. But hey, by the way, I use I'm a Sena guy. That's why I didn't know the Cardo. So I use Sena for voice and communicating with my wife and the voice of my vlogs. And then I use a GoPro 7. And then I combine the audio and the video. That's how I do mine. So how about you, Mike?
Well, I've always used Sena. I've just got the 20S and the 20S Evo and everything. But I've heard a lot of great Cardo reviews lately with that. But like I was, talking to Colin earlier with my setup, I'm really no longer using that wireless setup. I've got a whole separate audio pack and everything. The one thing that does frustrate me with the Sena, even with me and my wife talking, is we'll be on a trip and just the constant dropout is, and then trying to pair back in is just so random. I can't figure it out. So that gets a little frustrating. So I haven't honestly been using my Sena that much. And as far as, a message to new vloggers, I think I even mentioned this in my last video when I was out riding, was, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So don't think it's going to happen right away. I mean, it's like I got a message from a buddy up in Canada, Jarvis Bike, motovlogger, Jarvis biker up in Canada, and he was happy he hit 50 subs, and I remember when I hit 50 subs, and I remember when I hit 100 subs, and you constantly want to keep growing, but and then also, just like Colin said, don't just put out one video a month. Don't start a new channel and say, hey, this is my first video. I plan to put out videos weekly, 2 videos, this and that. And then next thing you know, it's been 6 weeks until your next video. I would honestly, a new vlogger, I would go out and cut about 4 to 8 videos first and then release them regularly. And I think that's what my buddy Rich did up in New Hampshire. Have Moto Will Travel. I think he backlogged some videos. Yeah. Rich, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he backlogged some, to have available. So that, I think it's all about being regular and constant and consistent. And that will help, I mean, you think about MC Rider, Kevin Moore's got gobs of subscribers and views. He puts out 1 video a week every Friday. And I talked to him about it. He's like, you know what? My goal was to do 1 great video per week, and it certainly showed up in his channel.
Hey, Mike, that's some great advice, because there's a couple of people that are saying, hey, I can't post a couple of weeks because of work or something else.
That's hard. It's hard to do.
That's a great advice, is instead of just doing that, get 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, and then a couple out a week and get started. Right. That's great advice. I didn't even think about that.
You know, you can always you can go ahead and upload them in unlisted view. And then you put your first video out, you watch it as it begins to die off, then throw them another one, you know.
It's funny, Mike, HDR is the king at that, right? So for a lot of us, Colin, the same way.
Stop shaking your head. You are.
Yeah, you are.
I wanted to add to that too, because you have to look at, people often tell me that I get a lot of comment, I don't have time to do this. I don't have time I start my channel, but I don't have time to put content in. And I've talked a lot to Bob Nelson. He's very new at doing the YouTube stuff. When you're out for a ride, and Bob used to do this, he'd go for a ride with his wife, and they'd be out for 2 or 3 hours. He'd come home with a 7-minute video. If you're out for 2 or 3 hours, there's no reason you can't do 2 videos.
Right.
Put those on, and YouTube allows you to schedule those. So if you have a Saturday, you're out riding, you come home, sit down. That's how you have time. We're not doing this. If I have 3 videos this week, I'm not riding Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I might have rode Saturday and I'm posting Monday and Wednesday.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, it's very, the time part of it is, it only has to be maybe on a Saturday you're going to post your videos, but you have them coming out Wednesday, Friday, or Wednesday, whenever. And now Bob is very good at that also. So,
hey, Bronco, I got to tie that question to what Jack was talking about. So there's a lot of times we'll go out and do multiple videos, right? I may have a day I do none, may have a day I do 1, may have a day I do 4, right? So, and I guess this is for everybody, is, do you find when you get back from that you want to go take a peek at them quickly, or even start editing them? Because I think I drive Mrs. BoDean crazy. If I go out and I'll do 3 or 4 and she's on the bike, you can bet within an hour if I get home, I'm going up to see how the coverage was. So I don't know if you do that, Colin, or HDR.
Yeah, I mean, I want to check just to make sure the audio's good. I mean, I always double check that, because you've got that paranoia that you just spend an hour filming and then you get home and
and that happens, right?
That happened with my Sena on the Dragon one time. You know, man. I was riding my buddy James Pittman from Georgia. He was out in front of me on his Goldwing on the Dragon, and we were following behind some slow pokes. And buddy, he just ripped that Goldwing with that Unigo trailer and passed them and went and left them in the dust in those kind of curves, which is all no passing. And man, I was commenting, chatting, and talking to get back. No audio.
Bob, this would actually, you could spend an hour on this topic, this whole thing, and just go deep dive and to help people. I like what you said a minute ago. It's like, reach out to the 4 of us, you know, the people that, I mean, I think we all like to pay it forward, and, you know, that's what it's all about, helping each other out. So like, if people that have specific questions, because everybody has questions. I mean, I did in the beginning, each one of these guys did, and it's just trying to learn and get better and helping each other. And that's what's cool. I mean, I see a couple people in the chat that have asked like a couple more detailed questions, but that's what I love about YouTube and this interactive thing. So that might be a good idea. Spend an hour just on one subject, just on this.
And you know, one thing.
Go ahead, Mike.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
One thing too that I'm just thinking too, the new motovloggers, when you get out there, cut the dead space.
Yes.
If you're just riding along and you're cut it, just cut it and keep it flowing.
And don't tie it to music, because you want to beat up that space, right?
Exactly.
That's why there's a thing called an editor.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I did want to add into that real quick about bringing videos back. Like today I did a couple videos. I was out for a while riding, and I came home and I took a nap. I mean, I don't run to the computer anymore, because like Colin said, I want to see if it has bad audio, or does it really matter at that point? I'm not going to go back on the bike and go back out to
right.
So I really don't care. When I get ready to edit that footage, I'll sit down to do that. But and you know, you hope that it's okay. So But yeah, I don't do that anymore. I guess I used to do that. Like, oh, Mrs. HR come home, and maybe we ran out to get some takeout food. We'd come home and she'd start eating. I'm like, I gotta go look at this footage. But I don't do that anymore.
I gotta admit, I'm still that guy. I do that.
Yeah.
So Colin, we have a question for you, and we were talking. Mike was talking about somebody passing him. In your latest video, you were passed by a U-Haul truck.
That U-Haul was easily doing 90.
Let me just clarify.
Easily.
You were passed by a moving truck that had a U-Haul on the back of it.
I was focused on telling a story.
Can you please explain how that can happen?
I went back to that video because I think like 4 people actually commented on that. Said, oh, by the way, I see that rider passed you or U-Haul. I was going 65. And so that guy was trucking. He was heading down the highway pretty fast. So there's no excuse. I lost my man card. I get it. I'll gain it back. I promise.
I seen the driver of that pickup truck too. It's an 89-year-old woman. I seen it in your rearview mirror.
You've been trying to reach out to that person, and we haven't got confirmation. In fairness to you, my friend, you were turning left. You were turning left into the dealership, so I'm trying to get you out of the.
I was turning left into Wawa. I didn't know.
And I don't know why you go to Wawa when you
Sheets.
Is that like a Sheets?
It's much better than Sheets.
There's nothing better than Sheets. Bob owns all the
No.
I'm telling you what, if I had money, I'd buy 20 sheets and put them in Michigan. So, hey, last question. Do we normally take a long trip every year? And if so, you still plan on doing that later this year? How about you, Mike?
Yes, I always do a long trip or 2. And when I say long, that would be, 5 to 7 days. I haven't really done like 2-weekers. Right now, given the circumstance, there are no plans on the table. And honestly, we are, which is good and bad, we are kind of spontaneous travelers anyway. I mean, we don't say, okay, we're going to plan to go here, book our hotels there. If we have a week off that we're planning to go do something, then all of a sudden the weather looks crappy in that direction. Then we just say, okay, well, let's go this way instead. So I always plan, I know when my vacations are, and we pretty much plan to ride. But of course, due to what's going on right now, everything's kind of off the table. I plan to go to Americade.
Yeah.
That may or may not happen. I mean, so,
Yeah, for me, we're hoping to go down to the Smokies. And we're also hoping to take a ride with HDR and Broncoride. We just got to figure out when that is. So we're definitely still planning on doing that. And boy, we all need that more nowadays. And
man, you ain't kidding. You're not kidding.
Hopefully we get a long ride in. I think I've started to find that I do too much vlogging on not enough good roads and stuff. Right. So I want to spend time seeing roads.
Right.
And meeting up with some buddies and hopefully some folks that watch our channels, right, too. So
right.
HDR does that a lot of times on his trips.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're going this year. This will be our 4th year on a motorcycle trip. We originally were going to Ireland. We were going to rent a motorcycle and tour around Ireland.
Oh, wow.
But those plans got changed. So now we're going back on the bike. And like I said, we were going to go to New Orleans, but it looks like now maybe Yellowstone. And we do anywhere from 10 to a 14-day motorcycle trip. So we'll see how that turns out this year.
Since 2016, I've done every year. So normally our trips are anywhere from 7 to 10 days. And I'm planning on doing it this year with you guys. Hopefully, if it all works out, we don't know how long it's going to be. But this is actually the first year I don't have anything definitively planned besides that. I mean, but normally I try to get out every year and do a group ride with a bunch of people. And, it's not... it's getting the camaraderie you have with these group rides are awesome, and they're incredible. And that's probably one of the best parts. The logistics of it's a pain, but once you get up there and everybody's together and hanging out, that's one of the best times there is when you do these group rides.
Amen.
At our Motovlogger meetup, I think the best time we had was not the riding at all. It wasn't even looking at motorcycles.
No doubt.
In the evening, we were standing at picnic tables drinking beer together.
Yeah.
That was the best.
Well, it gets back to that whole community thing and just,
Yep.
networking and socializing and, to me.
So people in the chat, would you like us to continue to do this? Because as of right now, the three of us and our special guest, Mr. Memphis Mike, and then we love doing this. We've been enjoying it. And how it works, if you don't know this, each week it's on a different channel. So HDR started week 1, then BoDean 52 was next, and this is my week. So this is the 3rd week we're doing, and the next week it'll go back to HDR. So if you guys are into this, we're planning on keeping it going, right, guys?
Yeah,
absolutely.
So we're enjoying it, just sitting around and taking an hour and 20 minutes out of your day and just, interacting with us. So we've really enjoyed it. So you guys want to say some parting words? We'll start with HDR.
Hey, I just want to say, if you can get out there and ride, the weather's starting to break now everywhere. I know you guys down south, you keep slamming us guys up here in the north going, we ride all year long. That's wonderful. And I'm glad, because your videos keep us going when we're sitting here and there's 40 feet of snow outside. So we do appreciate that. But pretty much spring is coming. It's time to ride. The world will right itself and we'll be good to go. So I hope you join us next Sunday once again.
Yeah. For me, and then I'll let Mike as our guest go, thanks for everybody for tuning in. I mean, it's the friendships and the people that you talk to that make this worth it. And we can ever help, reach out to us. Love to meet up with some of you guys and gals and ride together. And at the end of the day, we all do something really cool. It's called riding a motorcycle that make us together. And I know with all the crap going on right now and motorcycles, we're gonna end up better out of this thing. So you need any help, reach out to any 4 of us, and thanks for watching. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I think I'm flattered you guys asked me to participate in this, and I just think people are bored right now too, and I think what you guys are doing right here is a excellent opportunity to connect and reach with the viewers. And I'm just looking on here, at all the comments and everything. I'm overwhelmed by all the motovloggers I see and all the participants I see that support my channel and everyone else's channel. It's encouraging now. And I see Two Wheel for Fun right there. He said he can sleep now. He's in Italy. He's a motovlogger, and it's like 1 o'clock in the morning over there.
Wow,
That he decided to stay up. So, and like BoDean said, it comes to motovlogging and all that and everything. Feel free to reach out to all these guys. I have people email me all the time, ask me questions or reach me on Facebook. And, my email and my Facebook are always open for questions to help. And it's like HDR says, just get out and ride. It's time,
And to wrap it up, guys, again, thank you, Mike. Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Look for an hour, and as you're enjoying your cigar and your lovely Memphis beer, you can't beat that, man.
Oh,
on your
yeah.
porch with a steak, probably cook it on the grill.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
But thank you, guys. I mean, HDR and BoDean, as always, I really appreciate it. And just look it over. And just so you guys know, on StreamYard, it's the guys in this panel, the only time they can communicate on the chat is through, like, if they have it on their phone. So it's really hard to interact much as we'd like. So when we're not typing back, we see you guys out there. It's just, we're trying to answer your questions, but we definitely appreciate everybody coming aboard. And until next week on HDR's channel, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Be safe,
everybody.
See you guys back in the green room.
Heck yeah.